is CyHawk Gameday, Cyclones Road to the Title, sponsored by Hy-Vee and Service Legends.
Well, good morning, Central Iowa. We are welcoming you into CyHawk Gameday on Local 5, and we are witnessing history this morning. We could not be happier to join you on the ride on this very special day for the Iowa Cyclones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards is here with us. As you can see, he is decked out in his super fan gear. He is at his home. He will give us the forecast and a few tips for celebrating safely with your family and friends. That's right, 5's the one, and so are the Cyclones today, Brad. Hey, but first, let's go to Sports Director John Schaefer, who joins us live from Arlington, Texas. John, it sounds like the party has already started.
Yes, it has, Stephanie. Fans have shown up as much as possible for Iowa State. I'm going to say it's about 80-20 from what I've seen as far as Cyclones versus Sooners, and that's a testament to just how loyal this fan base is. Even in a pandemic, they're going to find a way to support this team in what is going to be a historic day for the Cyclones. And with it, it's kind of been a roller coaster of a season. You know, they started the season with that big loss to Louisiana. It's been a roller coaster ride through it. Here's a look back at 2020.
For the first time in school history, the Raging Cajuns notch a road win against a ranked opponent.
Tough way to learn it, but again, get ourselves back, get ready for Big 12 football.
Does it again.
The character, the heart showed itself when we needed it the most. So really proud of our team. Obviously, this team's very proud of what they've been able to do. And, you know, I think also a sense of, you know, understanding that there's more football left to be played.
But the job is not done for these Cyclones. They've been saying it since that West Virginia win a couple of weeks ago. It's a testament to what Matt Campbell has put in as far as culture goes. BREECE Hall summed it up best. 5-star culture versus 5-star players. That's the mentality these Cyclones have had. It's a mentality Matt Campbell has had since coming to Ames 5 years ago.
To this point can only fittingly be described as a process, one that started 5 years ago.
Our new head football coach, Matt Campbell.
Campbell came to Ames from Toledo. In 4 years there, he led the Rockets to 3 9-win seasons.
We wanted a person that fit those needs. Tough-minded, Midwestern-based, run-first, who can recruit. We hit a home run on every one of those points.
It hasn't always come easy for Matt Campbell at Iowa State, and success hasn't always been linear. For all the positives, there have been letdowns.
At Iowa State, you're going to have to win in the margins, and if you refuse to win in the margins, it's really going to be hard for us to have success. So, tough way to learn it.
But in 5 years at the helm, Campbell's message has never changed.
If you fall in love with the process, then eventually, Ogie, eventually, the process will love you back.
That year wasn't the end result.
For the lead and the win!
Neither were the next two, just more steps in the process. And Iowa State's national coming out party last December against Notre Dame was not to beat. All growing pains for a program trying to get to a place it hasn't been.
You know, I think long-term goals for me are really simple, is to build a program and to build something that hasn't been done, and to take a program to a championship level football program.
5 years later, Campbell's done that, and today his Cyclones stare down 108 years of history on a 100-yard field in Arlington, Texas. But if you ask that tough-minded Midwesterner, he'd probably tell you it's just another step in the process.
And Matt Campbell will also tell you he loves the prep work going into this game. He's had to put a lot of time in to get ready for this tough Oklahoma Sooners team. It is a top 10 matchup in the college football playoff rankings. Looking forward to it. It's about 20 minutes or so from kickoff now, Stephanie. So we got to get you even more geared up, ramp you up a little bit more with a couple more stories coming your way in just a bit, right?
Yeah, it's so exciting. And I know everyone's sitting at home just waiting for everything to start. So we'll help get them there, help that anticipation build. All right, John, thank you. Go Cyclones. I can hear them. Love it. John, thank you so much. Well, time for a quick break. Cyclones of the past are going to reflect on what the Big 12 championship games means for the program. And before we go to break, some of our viewers' favorite memories from Iowa State games, tailgating with friends or cheering on the Cyclones at Jack Trice Stadium. Thank you for sending in your photos this past week. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're almost there. Welcome back. Let's get a check of the latest forecast for kickoff for fans watching in Iowa this morning. And for that, we got to go to Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards. He is joining us from his living room. No secret to anyone, Brad, you are a huge Iowa State fan. Your whole family is, so this is a big day for you guys.
No doubt about it, Stephanie. We are huge Cyclone fans. Would we have a Cyclone tree if we weren't big fans? And look at this little ornament. What a cute ornament. It says, "Dear Santa, all I want for the Cyclones is to win a championship." That is what we want. We've got some friends and family here, basically all family. We're keeping it small. I got Drew, my son-in-law, and Johnny, my brother-in-law. Wave, guys, you're on camera. Hey, are we gonna win today?
Yeah,
They feel like we're going to win. Let's go to the graphic and talk about the forecast. We are going to see basically a whole kind of a similar day, actually, because it starts off cloudy in both days in both areas today, and then we're going to see some sunshine late in the day, so that's going to be good. It will be a lot warmer there than here, that's for sure. Temperature's about almost 30 degrees warmer. And here is my beautiful wife, Alicia, who's basically the party planner. And how many Cyclone parties do you think we've had?
I can't even count. We've had so many. Yep.
Like 1,000 maybe. I mean, we've had big parties here. We've got the whole spread out here, and we've made Jello shots for the first time. Usually our friends the Nealons, hi guys, usually they make them, but we made them. And you know what? These Jello shots, every time we score, we're going to do a Jello shot.
Absolutely. Let's go Cyclones.
And it's just Jello, nothing else in them. And here is my beautiful daughter and the grandson. And this is Alyssa and Jameson.
Say hi.
Hi.
Go Cyclones.
And Jameson, he wears his lucky shirt because if we take that off of him, basically they lose because, right?
Yes, every time we've switched him to this shirt, they have won. And we've changed his outfit during nighttime, so we would win.
we didn't believe it until we did it like 3 times, and then we had to believe that it does make a difference. So he's going to be wearing a Cyclone shirt. And I'll tell you what, this is my last thought right here. Hey guys, do we believe the Cyclones can win? We do, yes! So back to you guys. We believe it's going to happen.
All right, Brad, if they're not fired up at home yet, it is certainly not your fault. By the way, Brad and Alicia and family are the best party hosts ever. and extreme Cyclone fans. So we're all hoping that this is a good day for their family. Well, it's not just Cyclone fans who are watching from their living rooms this morning. Former Cyclones are, of course, really excited to cheer on their team from afar. So let's check back in with sports director John Schaefer live in Arlington. John, you spoke to some of those past players.
That's right, Stephanie. Yeah, as you know, the Cyclones have plenty of pressure on them coming into this game to perform at their highest ability. But with that pressure comes a lot of support, not just from the Cyclone Nation fans, but also past and present Cyclones that are wearing that cardinal and gold. They're wearing it with pride today. Saturday, Cyclone fans will be glued to the Big 12 championship.
For these players and these coaches and the fans as well, to get this payoff now in what's been a really hard, crazy year, it's just so cool. It's so much fun to be a part of.
Right, Hall, touchdown!
It's safe to say this is the biggest game in program history.
For a school to not even be in the Big 12 championship or any type of championship game ever, and then now it's happening this year. It's kind of I wouldn't say a perfect year, but it's almost close.
A lot of former players have been watching from afar.
And this is the stuff we talked about when we were freshmen in the dorms that we wanted to do. And it's, and every class that's ever gone through Iowa State, when you're a freshman, you're sitting in the dorms, maybe you're redshirting and you're getting up early for a 5:30 workout. Like, that's why you do all that stuff. And that's the stuff that we talked about when we were in that position. And, all these years later now to see it actually coming true and actually happening for these players, I mean, it's just so cool to watch.
Some could trace the groundwork for this back to the McCarney era. So for those guys to see this happen,
it means a lot, man. I mean, shoot, we've came a long way. I mean, it shows a lot of growth of where we are now. When we're talked about as the top team in the Big 12, and for us to be able to play in the Big 12 championship game, I mean, come on now. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more.
You can bet they'll be tuned in on Saturday, whether that be at home like Todd Blythe.
Said, hey, honey, I think I'm going to go down to Dallas for the game. She said, no, you're not. I said, okay, I'll stay here and watch it on TV.
And Jack Whitver, who will watch with his 6-year-old son.
We're going to be in the house watching it and hope to see a Cyclone victory.
Others will be there in person, like MARCHIE MURDOCK, who's just a couple of seasons removed from his playing days.
It's pretty much the only thing that's been on my mind. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, I'm not even playing. But what I learned as especially as an Iowa State fan and a former player, like, it's way less stressful playing.
MURDOCK isn't the only one that feels that way.
More stressful as a fan, to be honest. As a player, you feel like you're kind of at least in a little bit of control of what's going on. As a fan, you have absolutely no control. So I'm living and dying with every snap right now.
With every snap, hit, touchdown, nerves will be flowing, because at the end of the day, this is about the brotherhood of Iowa State football. And for those that have come before these current players, Saturday's game carries a lot of weight.
Touchdown!
It would mean everything to me and Cyclone fans. It's what we've been waiting for our entire lives. Literally haven't won a conference championship forever.
To proudly wear our cardinal and gold around town or around the country, wherever you're living. I think that's the big thing that this game really provides for the fans.
It means a lot. I mean, shoot, that means all the blood, sweat, and tears that everybody has put into this program and put in the hard work to kind of put us on the national stage. That's what it's all about.
And still to come here on CyHawk Gameday, the dedication of Iowa State fans to watch their team unmatched. The lengths some are going to watch the Cyclones in person despite a pandemic. But before we go to break, we're highlighting some of the best plays over the years, including this one from 2011. It was running back Jeff Woody taking it into the end zone in overtime, upsetting then number 2 ranked Oklahoma State. The fans storming the field. What a win it was. And with that, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. We're getting closer. Iowa State fans, of course, they are known for their dedication to traveling to see their teams play no matter what sport. And because the Cyclone football team hasn't been in the Big 12 championship in over 100 years, fans from all walks of life are making that trip to Dallas despite a pandemic to see their team play.
We decided to go, we were going to go. Absolutely.
Die-hard Iowa State fans, like the Myers family, say rooting for the Cyclones is in their DNA.
Obviously, I graduated from Iowa State University, and in fact, when I was there, I probably went to most, if not all, the games. And since then, I've had season tickets ever since then as well. And there were a lot of dry years in the middle. Obviously, I'm driving down from Northwest Iowa, and I'd have 2 tickets, and I'd be like, does somebody want to come along? And they all look at me like I'm from Timbuktu or Mars or something. They're like, why would you do that? And so I've gone to a lot of Iowa State games, and at the time I took my son, and he was 70 years old. He just was having fun to go. Grateful. Then ever since the other kids, it was like, let's go to the games, and we always had fun at it. And so we've gone to some bowl games.
And being in the stadium for the history-making game.
You really can't put it in words. There were so many times, and even the last 15 years, even through Dan McCarney, we were a game away. Another game away, and then one loss by somebody else. And we obviously hadn't made it to a Big 12 championship, football game. And so when this came around, it's like, it's doggone about time.
The Meyer family, not the only ones traveling. The Crosses from Ankeny are flying down because, again, it's history in the making.
You never know when it's going to happen again. We're a relatively healthy crew, so we know the precautions. We take care of ourselves. And so you never know when, life's short. So you might as well make the trip and buy the tickets and cheer on a victory.
All right, well, Joey Meyer and his family made it safely to Arlington yesterday, so happy to hear that. Sending us this photo from one of their pit stops along the way. This is the group before they made it into the stadium. They tell us many more Cyclone fans than Oklahoma Sooner fans, so that's a good sign, too. When we come back, he's the Big 12 Player of the Year. A look at BREECE Hall. In the second play, we will look at back on a defining moment for the Cyclones under Matt Campbell. Their first ever win over Oklahoma in Norman. Kyle Kemp to Alan Lazard and into the end zone. The Cyclones knock off the number 3 OU 38-31 back in 2017. Matt Campbell is 2-3 all time against the Sooners, trying to become 3-3. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are just 9 minutes away from kickoff inside of at&t Stadium, and most of the fans have already made their way, and that includes Breece Hall's high school football coach. Now, if you look at Breece Hall, he has become a Heisman hopeful this season, a stellar year for him, but it's all rooted in the work that he put in back in high school after his coach challenged him at Wichita Northwest.
We gave Breece the start, the final game of his sophomore year against Derby, who really had a great defense, and I think he ran for like 130 yards as a sophomore.
That was the moment Steve Martin, Hall's high school coach at Northwest, knew Breece was going to be special.
What he said is like, listen, Breece, if you'll get in the weight room, and you'll put in the work in, I think there's a chance you can be one of the best backs that's ever came out of Kansas.
High praise from a coach who knows the history of running backs in the Sunflower State.
In Wichita, you got Barry Sanders, Bryce Brown. Just even out of Northwest, we've had some tremendous backs, and Jaron Trotter. That went on to play Division I football. So, I think that really opened his eyes up.
Hall went to work and started getting looks, thanks in part to teammate Marcus Hicks.
The likes of Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Notre Dame and Michigan, are recruiting Marcus. That was putting Breece in front of everybody. There was no offer, though.
The knock was speed. Martin didn't see that as a problem, and the next year, Hall burst onto the scene.
He came off and just junior year just blew it up, and Nate Shieldhouse and Coach Campbell called the night before Thanksgiving of his junior year, and, here we are now.
Keep in mind, Hall picked Iowa State over some of college football's biggest powers.
I don't even know if it was close in recruiting-wise. I don't know if any of those guys stood a chance because, those guys did such a great job of building a relationship, a true relationship.
That bond has helped Breece flourish in the Cyclone system, putting him in the Heisman conversation.
Boy, there's some really good videotape evidence that he's one of the best football players right now in college football.
For his high school coach, there's nothing but pride and excitement for Breece, and the rest of the country is quickly learning who he is, not just as a football player, but as a person as well.
Rolls left side, Hall, touchdown!
The way he carries himself, his mannerisms, I attribute that to his mom and his growing up, is that he's a very humble kid. He always puts God first, and he puts his teammates first, and that's Breece. That's who my kids know and look up to Breece, and our Breece's biggest fans are in my family.
And I will bet you Breece Hall is included in our 3 keys coming up right after the break, plus our final thoughts. But before we go, the number 1 play every Cyclone fan will remember, simply called the run. That's right, Seneca Wallace, the quarterback, taking it in against Texas Tech. One of the most prolific runs you'll ever see from any quarterback all time. Dodging tackles, running all over the field, all over players, finally making it into the end zone, scoring that touchdown. A great play in Cyclones history, and with that, we'll be right back. The national anthem has just wrapped up inside of at&t Stadium. We are just minutes away from the Big 12 championship kickoff between the Iowa State Cyclones and Oklahoma Sooners. And with that, let's get to our three keys. Starts with number one, run, BREECE, run. BREECE Hall has been the game changer this season for the Cyclones. Consistent running game has brought balance to this Iowa State offense. So I'm looking for him to have another big day like he did game one against OU, where he ran for 139 yards on 28 carries. I think he has to have another big day on the ground if ISU wants to win this one. Key number two, keep Brock clean. Brock Purdy, since the start of the second half against Baylor, has been absolutely outstanding. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. 75% of his passes have been completed, putting up nearly 1,000 yards. That's in large part because he's had a clean pocket to work in, so they have to do that once again against OU. Then number three, Rattle Spencer Rattler. He's only a freshman. Give him some tough looks. Get after him, hurt him, hit him. Do whatever you have to do. Don't kill him, obviously, but just hit him hard. Make him feel all that pressure throughout the game. Going to be a good one inside. Those are our three keys for this game. And join us after the game, but be sure to tune in. Local 5 has you covered all day for Cyclones.
By Hy-Vee and Service Legends.